Stop looking for excuses, and I'll show you where to find all the answers. I do what it takes to get it done. Stop looking for excuses, and I'll show you where to find all the answers. I do what it takes to get it done. Stop looking for excuses, and I'll show you where to find all the answers. I do what it takes to get it done. Stop looking for excuses, and I'll show you where to find all the answers. We live? Right, guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome to the gym. For today's Q&A, we'll start doing these more frequently once we get a system down in place and we see that these things are running smoothly and that you guys in the gym army are actually requesting more of these live Q&A. So basically, what you can do is ask me any questions, and the ones that I like we'll get to. And if you don't get your question answered today, you know, you guys can get me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, or wait for the next live session. So what I'm actually doing is I just really started a chest and back superset workout here. So I'll talk while I continue to do the workout, but I've already trained chest once this week. So what I'm doing is a back workout. Today's my normal back day, but I decided to throw in a light chest workout as well, just for variety purposes. And the thing that I want to teach a couple things here with this is that, like I said, I've already trained chest today. Today's just my normal back day. So normally I'd be training back, but I decided today that I wanted to train back and also hit some chest. And what's nice about hitting chest and back with supersets are that they're opposing muscle groups. So what the research shows is that you will actually be stronger on the opposing muscle group when you do it second. And it's due to something that happens with the nervous system. There's a lot of debate over whether it's the fact that that antagonist muscle, the opposing muscle, in this case the back, if you're doing the bench press, is more fatigued and relaxed, so it doesn't hinder the opposing movement of pressing. The lats aren't imposing on that movement so much. That's one theory, and like I said, the other theory is about nerve recruitment. But anyway, I want to show you guys is that, I've decided that even though I don't have a normal chest day in today, that I decided I'm going to add an extra chest day, but I'm going to go on the light side. So today all my supersets will go back, with chest being on the second exercise today. And then the other thing that I'm doing that I want to talk about is deadlifts. So not only am I supersetting chest and back, so for example, I've got the pull down going over here, and I've got Smith machine bench press. And the only reason I'm doing the Smith machine bench press, guys, if you remember, is I'm actually doing this in the reverse direction because of the fact that I'm recovering from a slight shoulder injury. So using the Smith machine, pressing the bar away from the body is actually works better for my shoulder. But I'm also doing deadlifts. So one of the things that I'll be talking to you guys a lot about, you'll see this new program, which I call Cardio Acceleration Legs, is what I have, this new program, you're basically using your leg exercises as cardio acceleration exercises. So today, it'd normally be just back day, but I'm supersetting back and chest, but even if it was just back day, what I would be doing for my cardio acceleration are deadlifts. And that's also going to be my deadlift workout. So I'm using deadlifts, which, look, it's basically a whole body exercise when you're doing a deadlift. You're using your legs, you're using your back, you're using your arms. So I'll do anywhere between as low as 5 to 10 reps. And so what I will do is I will start the cardio acceleration. So if I'm doing deads for today, so I'll do, let's just say I'm doing back, I'll do a set of pull downs, and my cardio acceleration will be a set of deadlifts. Back to pull downs, back to deadlifts. But what I do with the deadlifts is I pyramid up. So I'll start really light with higher reps. I'll even start, well, I probably usually start at 185 at the lowest, but you can start at 135. Get like about 10 reps. You don't have to go to failure. Remember, it's just a warm up. Back to your back exercise and back to your deadlift, using it as your cardio acceleration. Increase the weight, maybe it's 225 in the next one. Back to your back exercise, back to deadlifts, maybe it's 275. Back to your back exercise, and then the next one, 315. Going all the way up to about, like I said, till you get about 5 reps. And then what you do is you pyramid back down. You do the same with squats. So typically I do back and deads, and then I do, although I'm doing an extra chest day today, I typically do my squats on my chest day. And then I have other leg exercises in there, like bench step ups, lunges, sled work as well if you have a sled. But it's a way to use cardio acceleration and combine leg training with the cardio acceleration, since most of these exercises are full body exercises, not just using the legs. Sorry about we're lowering the garage doors so we don't get as much glare coming. But it's a way to basically getting your cardio acceleration and your leg training at the same time. So it's a way to, and like I said, I'll explain all this in the article and in the videos to come, but expect this new program. And like I said, I'm just sort of demoing it now for you guys while I train. But let's, enough about that. Like I said, I'll throw in my work as I go along here. So, get some questions. Let's get to the questions.
People with lengthy arms right here, which deadlift?
People with lengthy arms and shoulders, which deadlift would you recommend, sumo or regular? You know, it's a really good question. Typically, a longer person will tend to like sumos, but again, it depends on the person's body biomechanics. Even someone who has short legs and arms may also find sumo works. It really depends on the biomechanics. I really like sumo deads for my biomechanics. And with the sumo, you're going to take a very wide stance on the bar. You're going to come down and grab it, whether you use a staggered grip or overhand grip, in between your legs, versus the standard dead, where you're going to come at about a hip width stance and your hands are outside the legs. With the sumo, you're going to go wide, and again, the width that you go to, obviously you're limited to the width of the barbell, but it's based on your leg length. Obviously longer athletes will have a longer stance, but find what's comfortable, and it's the same concept. You're going to keep the bar close to the shins, drag it up. What you'll find with the sumos is that when you do it, it helps to keep your torso more upright. What the research shows on sumo deads is that it uses more quads than standard deads, and it makes sense when you look at the biomechanics here. You're getting a lot more knee flexion and extension on sumos, less knee extension on standard deads, but more hip extension on the way up, less hip extension with the sumo, so that's why you get more quad work on sumos. Also found that it works more on the traps as well, but just the standard sumo, you're going to keep it close to your shins and then simply keep the torso upright, drag it up, back down. Like I said, I never say, look, a taller person needs this version. It's really based on the individual. You know, what feels best for you. You may have lower back issues that the sumo sort of, you know, lessens that back pain. I find I have less back issues when I do sumo, but I still like doing regulars as well. I'm not saying that you should do one over the other. Always remember that variety is the key, so really don't just stick with one versus the other. Both have benefits. Like I said, what the research shows is that sumo's hitting more quad versus the regular dead hitting more hamstrings and glutes. So use them to hit those different muscle groups and build strength. And you know, if you're a regular dead kind of guy or girl, and you do start doing sumos as an adjunct to your training, it's only going to enhance your strength on your standard, and vice versa. If you're a sumo person, you like sumos, doing standard is going to also enhance your sumo. So I would definitely use both, regardless of your biomechanics, how tall you are, how long your legs are, how long your arms are, and use what you find to be most comfortable. Try them both, but also try to use them both regularly so that you're strong in both of those. Next question. How do you do? Okay, it's Justin, guys. Justin Cam. How's it going, Justin? Everyone say hi to Justin, our favorite gym army. I guess I'd call Justin a general at this point. He's been gym army since there was a gym army. So salute to General Justin. How do you do cable crunch properly with gym bands if you have them on tap? Okay, so if you have the bands, how would you do? Is a cable crunch, just the standard cable crunch? So a standard cable crunch is done kneeling. So with the cable crunch, I've demoed this before. I think actually in the last one, but let's just start, let's see, where do we have the, yeah. So with a standard crunch, cable crunch, you're typically going to kneel down far enough from the machine that when you do it, I need a little more resistance to balance my body weight, but you want to make sure that your upper legs are mainly perpendicular with the floor. And you're bringing your elbows towards your knees. Now to do the same thing with a gym strength band, you have a couple options. You could, if you have a setup here like I have right here, you can just put the bands overhead and then get in the same position here. And do them that way. The other thing is that you can do these, you can do cable crunches in a variety of positions. You can do cable or band crunches with them tethered to the floor and have them behind you so that you're doing like a standard crunch where you're actually going to take the bands just a real band will work. Just a band. So here you can do it this way where you come under So now you have it tethered to the ground, and now you're going to do standard crunches with resistance. So simply like that. You can also do them standing. And, well, I guess it's probably not too bad for me. But you want to find you can adjust the height of this so that when you're here, you're getting enough resistance. But to do them standing, you're just going to stand and bring your elbows down towards your knee. So that's 3 versions of cable crunches that you can do with a band. So thanks, Jeff.
Did they hit 100, the dumbbell clean?
Oh, the proper on a proper dumbbell clean finish.
So I think he's just saying dumbbell cleans when we have them on the hit 100. Everyone's doing the hit 100 right now, and they're doing the dumbbell clean.
Yeah, so with the dumbbell clean, what you're going to do, and these are a little on the light side, is you're basically pulling the dumbbells up and catching them. So it's and coming up. And so you can either catch them in sort of like a top curl position, you can catch them on top of the shoulders, you can have whatever is most comfortable. And again, it depends on your arm length here and what's comfortable for you, but you're basically coming up, pulling, just like with a barbell. Think of it pulling and then dropping your body under the weight. And then you're coming up like that.
This one right here. This is more related to. So I'll work with that.
Well, okay, so this is one on rhabdomyolysis. So the question is, do stimulant-based pre-workouts lead to rhabdomyolysis and general liver and kidney dysfunction? He's asking because he happened to have rhabdo, the short term for rhabdomyolysis. I'll explain what that is in a minute. Due to constant use of pre-workout supplements, what's the safe way to take pre-workouts? And what kind of ingredients should you be aware? Well, that's debatable whether the rhabdo was due to the pre-workout. However, as you guys know, you really can't take every supplement at face value and what's in there. So could there be some stimulants that are, sorry, I was reading the question on the monitor, giving you guys my back. But the question is, could there be, I don't know what pre-workout you're taking. If you're taking pre-gym, then definitely no, that's not going to cause rhabdomyolysis. There are, like I said, there are supplement companies that will put things in ingredients that they will not tell you is actually in there, which is unfortunate for the industry and unfortunate for us as consumers to be able to trust or put our health in the hands of supplement company supplement manufacturers who do this. But really, generally speaking, stimulants in general, like caffeine, is the main stimulant in pre-gym. Though something like caffeine, would it cause rhabdomyolysis? Not necessarily. It could lead, depending on how sensitive you are to caffeine, it could possibly enhance your likelihood of getting rhabdo, as long as there's a perfect storm of all these other things. You're not going to just take caffeine, go to the gym, and it's going to cause you to get rhabdomyolysis. No, you need to be dehydrated. You need to have severe muscle damage, possibly some kidney impairments already, and not proper nutrition after the training, not proper rehydration after training is going to lead to rhabdomyolysis. Using, something that's a stimulant based is not going to cause a rhabdomyolysis. So, and for those of you who don't know what rhabdomyolysis is, basically rhabdomyolysis is due to excessive muscle breakdown. So, you know, when you do things like negative reps, you get that really severe muscle pain and that inflammation. Well, what happens is you get a lot of muscle breakdown and the body has to clear all that damaged tissue. And if you have a lot of damaged tissue, the body has to clear it through the kidneys, and a lot of times it gets too much for the kidneys to actually clear, and it can cause severe kidney dysfunction and other issues. So, but really, let's focus on the question about the stimulants in the pre-workout. It's likely that, you know, a lot of times when you go to the doctor and you have an issue, and then you mention, oh, by the way, take supplements. Suddenly, if that doctor is biased against supplements, suddenly they want to stop looking for any answers as to what could have happened and blame it on the supplements because it's the easy one. Their job's done. Oh, you're taking creatine. Yeah, it's due to the creatine. If you stop taking the creatine, it'll go away. Oh, my job's done. You know, I mean, it's sad, but that's the fact. So I'm sure you had rhabdo, but I'm sure when you mentioned that you take a pre-workout that the doctor told you, oh, well, that's going to cause rhabdomyolysis. That's the problem. No, not likely. Here's a question from Marin22. I use pre-gym, and how much creatine mono do I need to add since I don't use your post? 3 grams too much. Well, I would do 5 grams if you're going to do mono. Definitely use 5. If you're going to go with monohydrate, you definitely want to use 5 grams as your pre and your post dose. If you're taking pre-gym, you're getting your 2 grams of creatine hydrochloride. That's equivalent, even a higher dose than 5 grams of creatine monohydrate as far as the amount that your body's going to absorb. So you can either go 2 grams of creatine hydrochloride from pre and post gym, or you can do 5 grams of mono pre and post, or if you want to do a creatine hydrochloride at the beginning or the post-workout, either way you could do 2 grams and then 5 grams of the mono, or if you started 5 grams and then post-gym you had your 2 grams. That is an alternative that you can use, but if you're not using post-gym, I would really ask why not? Because you're also getting, post-gym, you're getting your second dose of betaine, your second dose of beta-alanine, and your second dose of branched-chain amino acids. Those are the other 3 critical nutrients that you want to be getting both before and after every workout. So really, if you're not using post-gym, you're shortchanging, and I'm not trying to sell you on post-gym. At the very least, if you're not going to go and buy post-gym, on top of the creatine monohydrate, buy some beta-alanine, buy some betaine, and buy some extra branched-chain amino acids, and take that. But if you're going to go and buy those, you're already over the price of post-gym, and also post-gym is going to bring carnitine, taurine, and glutamine on top of it. So really, you can't go wrong with post-gym. Like I said, I'm not trying to sell you on anything that you don't need. Those are really the essentials that I created in that gym system, the pre, the post, and the pro. Hi Jim, I'm interested in intermittent fasting, but my issue is that the only time I can train is early morning. So do you have any tips or advice regarding intermittent fasting and training in the morning? Yeah, well, what I recommend, if you go to, whether you remember gymstoppani.com or if you go to gymsupplementscience.com, you can read my intermittent fasting article. I talk about the science of intermittent fasting, and I show you guys how to manipulate your feeding and fasting windows based on when you train. And ideally, you want to feed around your training window. So if you have to train in the morning, then I would suggest trying to make your feeding window in the morning. At the very least, start your feeding window post-workout, or if you need to stretch it, an hour to 2 hours max post-workout to be ideal. You really want to start refeeding yourself 2 hours post-workout to really get in that recovery. Ideally, it would be closer even right during the workout to start getting in your nutrients. But I know that you maybe have a family and you want to eat dinner with them. So try to make your 8-hour window right after you train. Like I said, depending on how late, let's say you train at 8 and you're done by 9, 8-hour window at 9 o'clock would get you to 5 o'clock. If you don't have dinner till 6 o'clock and you have a family, you want to eat with your family. I have a family, that's why I keep my window so that I can eat dinner with my family. So if you wanted to eat at 6, just start your feeding window at 10 o'clock then. Or if you want to go to 7, eat your feeding window to 7, make it 11 o'clock. Just try to keep it as close to your post-workout time period as you can. So that's really what to do if you're training in the morning and you want to do intermittent fasting. Can you explain the proper way to do the 10 by 10? Yes, this is a good one. I'll actually do a separate video tip on this one. So let's do this with pull downs actually, since I'm training back. Okay. So here we go. Here, let's say I'm on my last week of the program, right? And I'm doing the 10 by 10s without any rest, right? For the last week. So I've got no rest, period. So I have to do 100 reps. Do I have to do all 100 reps nonstop? No. You might be able to, but if you don't worry, you didn't blow the program. So let's just say the weight that you've been using to do 10 sets of 10 with a minute rest, and then 50 seconds, and then 40, and then 30, and then 20, and then 10. And now you're still in that same weight, but now you have no rest. So how do you do 10 and 10? Well, let's say I'm going along. Let's say I've got 50 reps here now. 51, 2, 3, 4, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Let's just say I fail on 60, okay? I cannot do another rep no matter what. I'm absolutely dead. I've got 40 reps left to do, right? Rest 40 seconds. So you're gonna rest as long as you have reps. So now I'm back at it, okay? So I finished with 60, okay? 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, let's just say I'm already at 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. Oh, I'm dead at 75, right? Well, I've got 25 reps still left, okay? Now I'm only resting 25 seconds. 25 seconds goes by. Right back, where did I leave off? 75, 76. So let's say now I'm at 90, 91, 92. Still couldn't do it. 8 seconds left, okay? I got 8 reps left. I've got 8 seconds back on it, and then all the way till you complete every single one of those 100 reps. So that's how you do it. Whatever reps you have left to complete out of those 100 is the number of seconds you have to rest before you start back with your reps. So that's the way to do that. So that was a great question. I'm actually planning a video tip on that as well. So for those who didn't get to join today.
Hugo at the top.
Hugo, where's my, sorry, I'm thirsty as hell talking and training. Jim, when reaching, this is from Hugo, reaching the apex of the lift for deadlift, should you lean back a bit and thrust your hips forward and stop when your body's straight? Advantage of doing so. So let's go back to deads. So here's the question. And he's talking about at the top, the very top position. So if I stand sideways a bit, while I do this, you can see what I'm talking about here. So if you're going to come up from the deadlift in the top position, now to complete a deadlift, shoulders have to be back, right? And a lot of times people, when you see me deadlift, I lean back a lot further than most people do. And that's due to my own biomechanics. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you should never lean back that far. Well, that's complete bullshit, sorry, but I like to use those kind of words when I really want to make a point that it's complete bullshit. These are people who have no fucking clue what they're talking about as far as biomechanics. The problem with the spine is when it's bent forward, okay, when it's rounded. This is where damage happens. Okay, this is where you can slip a disc, cause nerve issues, is when the back is rounded and you've got a load on it. That's the problem. In an extension, you can extend as far back as you want without putting the discs or the spine in a compromising position. The reason I lean back so far is, those of you who know, that I have a compression fracture in my lumbar spine, so if there's any stress on my lower back, it hurts like hell. So at the top of the dead, for me, I don't want anything pulling me this way. So when I get to the top position, I go all the way back and literally let the bar rest on my thighs to some degree in that top position. And it removes all the stress from my lower back. And I can basically hold this as long as my grip will hold out, as long as my legs will keep the bar. There's almost no stress on my lower back in this position. That's why I lean back so far. So anyone who tells you, oh, that's damaging to lean back that far, they have no clue on spine biomechanics. And it actually can help to reduce the stress in the spine in the top position of a deadlift. And for me, it gives me a little break on the stress that my back is going through when I'm doing deads, since I have that injury that I need to worry about. So try it yourself. In the top position, just give yourself a little lean back and let that bar rest on your thighs, and you'll notice that a lot of that pressure in the top position of the dead, is that pulling on your back, is now taken off. What else do we have? What time is it now?
It is 2 o'clock.
Oh, 2 o'clock, okay. How hard is it to overtrain? This is a great question. Working push, pull, legs, strength once and hypertrophy once a week. Is this too much? No, hell no, it's not too much. So you're training basically each muscle group twice a week with a strength, I'm assuming that's heavier weight, lower reps, and a hypertrophy phase, which I'm assuming is higher reps and lighter weight. So you have, two very different stresses on the body, same stress, still resistance training, but very different. Heavy, probably more rest, more compound moves, and lighter, probably more, single joint movements, more focus on rep quality and whatnot. So different workouts for the same muscle group. Look, the whole thing about overtraining, overtraining was a real buzzword in the 90s, the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. Well, when you actually look at overtraining, what we're talking overtraining is with competitive athletes. These are like college athletes, professional athletes. Athletes have to come in the gym and do resistance training, then have to do practice. They might have to do a second practice in the day. They might even have to do some secondary conditioning on top of the resistance training. So they may be training anywhere from twice, 3 times, 4 times. Some Olympic athletes are training 5, 6 times a day or more, okay? That can lead to overtraining. Someone who sits on their ass at an office job all day long, drives to work, drives home, sits at an office all day, watches TV, eats lunch sitting down, and then works out for a whole hour and a half once a day, is not going to overtrain unless you're starving yourself and you're not getting proper nutrients to help yourself recover from those workouts. Not going to lead to overtraining, even if you're doing 2 workouts a day, even if you're training 7 days a week. Not going to lead to overtraining. Guys, I get up in the morning and I think about how I'm going to get in activity all throughout the day. That doesn't include my weight training. That doesn't include I might go out for a hike or a run, all while I'm doing all those other things to stay active. Remember, wage war on inactivity. This is not just about health. This is not just about getting normal people moving. This is for all of us. Even those of us who go to a gym once a day, guess what? It's not enough. It's not enough. That's not enough exercise to keep you as healthy and as lean as you need to be. You need to be active all day. That's what the human body was designed to do. We're not designed to sit around. So don't worry about overtraining. Worry about underfeeding, making sure that you're getting enough nutrients, and the supplements, especially the gym supplements, are designed to provide all those nutrients that you need so that you can train as hard as you want, as hard as I train, without overtraining, getting proper recovery and getting proper results. So it's very hard to overtrain. Jim, I've read, this is from Gym Girls. Jim, hey guys, how's everyone doing? I've read your intermittent fasting article and am IFing right now. Can you go into detail about how you stay shredded using IF? Is it your lifestyle? Is it because you use is it your lifestyle, i.e. you use it all the time or just specific time? Yeah, as well with all the pictures you post on how you eat what you want and stay shredded. Can you just explain? Yeah, definitely. So intermittent fasting, let's break it down. So let's show the results of intermittent fasting. Today, let's see, I've already had, white rice and fried wontons. What else? Anyway, that's not a typical day. I'm carving up for the shoot, but I will eat pretty much last night I made pork chops. This is for the whole family with I baked sweet potatoes, stripped the sweet potatoes, a little olive oil, baked those, made some Brussels sprouts and some other vegetables, stir-fried, and had them. That was basically dinner, which is a pretty decent dinner, but I had a beer with my dinner because I wanted a beer, and for dessert I had a couple pieces of my 3-year-old's Halloween candy because he can't eat it. And I had another small bowl of ice cream. So this was last night. It's obviously my body fat's probably 3 or 4% now. So once you're in this position, it's easy to maintain it with intermittent fasting. For example, weekends I typically go much looser. So take my family out maybe tonight and tomorrow. Tonight and tomorrow I will literally eat whatever I want for dinner. Within my, I'm not eating an entire pizza, but if I go have pizza, I'm going to have 3 or 4 slices of pizza. I'll have some beer, and then I might go to Baskin Robbins and have ice cream afterwards. And yes, that's while maintaining this, and it's due to the real science on intermittent fasting. I'm one of the few guys that actually studied fasting in the lab long before intermittent fasting was even that popular. And what we found was that when you fast, a lot of people think that when you starve yourself, right, it slows your metabolism. And that's true. When you're consistently dieting and lowering your calories, your metabolism will adjust and lower so that you burn fewer calories to do the same amount of work. Your body gets more efficient because it realizes you're taking in less energy and you have less energy reserve. So the more body fat you lose, and as you lower your calories, your metabolism starts to slow down. That doesn't really happen with intermittent fasting. A lot of people think, oh, if you're going to starve that long, your metabolism is literally going to shut right down. And it's not the case. Quite the opposite is what we found. And one of the things that I used to study at Yale was these things called uncoupling proteins. And all that they do is they basically poke holes in the mitochondria of cells. And the mitochondria where we make most of our energy, our ATP. That's where we oxidize fat and all that to make ATP. That's the main way we get energy. By poking all these holes where we make energy, when you're burning fat, you're oxidizing fat, it releases more heat. So it's just like for those of you who know engine mechanics, any motor, it only has, the efficiency is only so much. So it does work, but it also puts out heat. The more heat it puts out, and the less work that it performs, the less efficient it is. Well, these uncoupling proteins basically make the body put out more heat when they're burning the same amount of calories. So basically you have to burn more fat and carbohydrates for fuel to get the same amount of energy, which is what these uncoupling proteins do. So fasting actually can boost your metabolic rate by increasing these uncoupling proteins and making your body have to burn more calories just to get energy to do the same tasks, walking to the water fountain, sitting, doing, training and whatnot. Your body is less efficient when you fast, which is why the fat literally melts off. And what we found further was that when you refeed, if you refeed with a mainly high protein meal, which is why I recommend your first meal being a high protein meal after you fast, it further boosts those uncoupling protein, the production of those uncoupling proteins. If you have a high carb meal, then what happens is you lose those uncoupling proteins. That production decreases somewhat, but it's still higher than it normally would be if you weren't doing intermittent fasting. So really, that's the real science behind intermittent fasting. But the other thing that, there's reasons why I like intermittent fasting. Right now, I could probably switch back to a normal diet and maintain this body fat if I wanted to. But intermittent fasting is just so easy for me. It's convenient. I don't have to think about, on typical days, I'm fasting till 4 p.m. So that means I can get up, I can get my kids to school, I can have a meeting, I could talk to you guys on social media, I can shoot a video, edit a video, get it posted, run across town for a meeting, go over here for something, run an errand, and I don't have to worry about any of my food. I don't have to worry about a protein shake. I don't have to worry about my Vitagen, nothing. I don't have to worry about anything all day until 4 o'clock. So I don't have to prep food. I don't have to worry about where I'm going to be at noon when I have lunch, what I'm going to order. No, it's so convenient. And then because I'm increasing my uncoupling proteins, I can be looser with my diet when I get to eat. And the nice thing is you can adjust your feeding window. I usually use this, 16-hour of fasting, 8-hour of feeding. But let's say it's Saturday night and you've got a buddy in town and you guys are going to go out and drink all night and eat what the hell you want. Okay, well, here's what you do, just like I was talking about for Thanksgiving. Instead of going, oh, it's 4 o'clock, I'm going to start eating now, go, no, you know what, I'm going out tonight. It's going to be a crazy night. I'm going to fast all day until we go out. Then I can go out, I can eat pizza, I can have as much beer as I want, I can have as much ice cream, you name it, as much as I want without worrying about it affecting my physique. That's the nice thing about intermittent fasting is it's so convenient, it's so easy, and you can adjust it on the fly. Like you said, oh, we're going out tonight, okay, I'll just continue my fast till, instead of eating at 4, when we go out at 8 o'clock, I'll start eating and I'll only eat from 8 to 12. And yeah, I'll be pounding, French fries and all that crap, but it's only a short feeding window. I'm not going to be able to eat that much to go over. Some of you might be able to, but as long as you have some discipline and you're literally not just eating 10,000 calories in 2 hours, you're not going to be able to eat over your macro allotment and calorie allotment for the day. So, I love intermittent fasting. The question I get in intermittent fasting is how long can you do it for? You can live on intermittent fasting. I probably will not switch back to normal dieting because it's literally so easy for me to maintain this body fat level and even, work on getting it even lower. So, I'll stick with intermittent fasting. Like I said, it's so easy. Once people try it, once you've tried it for about a week or two, you're like, oh my God, well, why didn't people trust me? If I have clients who cannot lose weight, no matter what they do, as soon as I switch them to intermittent fasting, they start losing body fat. Trust me, it's the only diet that I've seen where literally almost every person that I've put on it loses radical amounts of body fat. Even those who have medical issues, who couldn't drop fat with a low carb diet, who couldn't drop fat, regardless of the diet that they tried, once they go to intermittent fasting, trust me, it works.
Then we can go from here.
let's see, Rob Saunderson. I understand Shred Gym, but if someone could use an ECA stack, would that be better? If only asked because ephedra is available across the bridge in Canada. So the ECA stack is basically ephedra, caffeine, and aspirin. Now, what bodybuilders have found back in the day was that it was magical for shredding body fat. Not to mention it was a hell of a freaking pre-workout, ephedra and caffeine. I mean that was that was you know yeah, a beautiful thing. I really like ephedra, and you know I would like to say you know people don't talk about ephedra much because it's banned here in the U.S. But I was really fighting that fight when they were trying to ban ephedra. It's one of the supplements that I'm a firm believer in has positive benefits. Ma Huang in general, not just the stimulant and the fat loss benefits and the you know the nootropic effects of ephedra, but Ma Huang itself. If you took regular Ma Huang, the herb, and not just isolated for the ephedrine compound, the ephedra in there, which ephedrine is the active molecule. If you took the whole thing, there are other ingredients in Ma Huang that have yet to be discovered and studied that provide far more benefits than just the ephedra. There's immune boosting properties and there's other things. So I was quite upset when they banned ephedra, especially when you know the smoking gun that they claimed to have, which was the pitcher that had died due to a heat illness. You know, the other thing that I studied was thermal physiology, which is the study of basically how the body exercises in the heat. And I can tell you one thing. This picture, and I'm sorry to go on a rant here, but these are the things that upset me about regulation on supplements and why I'm so nervous about the government stepping in because they do things so incorrectly. This was an athlete who had 2 prior heat illnesses. His athletic trainers should have been watching him, and in fact, he reported feeling not quite right. Athletic trainer who gets an athlete who says he's not feeling quite right and has 2 prior heat illnesses, and it's the first practice in the heat, knows to pull that athlete right away. That athlete was not pulled. He was not pulled. Suffered another heat illness. Anyone who's already suffered a heat illness is more susceptible to further heat illness. So he's already susceptible to heat illness. Died, and who gets the blame? Ephedra. The supplement got the blame. No, the athletic trainers, and I mean, I'm not holding them accountable, but they failed. They failed to pull that athlete off the field when he should have been pulled. It was not the ephedra. So anyway, I'm sorry to go on a rant, but anytime we talk about ephedra, I get really pissed off about it because it's a great supplement. It's a supplement that we were just really starting to learn all its properties, and then the government steps in with wrong information and bans a completely useful ingredient. So anyway, the ECA stack, ephedra, caffeine, and aspirin. Would that be better than Shred Gym? Well, yeah, I mean, ephedra is very effective as for fat burning and energy. But I would probably recommend using ephedra instead of using the caffeine and aspirin. I mean, you can use the aspirin as well. You could use the ephedra and the aspirin on top of Shred Gym, because that would give you the caffeine, then that would give you the acetyl L-carnitine, which is going to help shuttle more of the freed up fat into your system, or at least, the very least, if you're going to make your own stack, go with the ECA, add green tea, add acetyl carnitine, and possibly even the Advantra Z, synephrine, and possibly the capsaicin, if you really want. I mean, that way you're maximizing. You know, the thing you want to remember with fat burning, and the reason why I designed Shred Gym this way, is that there are a number of, you know, pathways that are involved in getting body fat from here and under your skin to a muscle where it's going to be burned away and gone for good. There's a lot of steps. And the first thing is getting the fat to leave the fat cells, right? So first step. So what things do that? Well, synephrine helps with that. Caffeine helps release fat from the fat cells. Okay, now we've got more fat floating in our system. Well, how do we get that fat, all that fat, if we have more fat than we normally have circulating in our system now because we increase the release of the fat from the fat cells, how do we ensure that fat gets burned away? Because it's just circulating and it can just go right back into other fat cells and get stored again. How do we make sure it gets burned away? Well, first thing is we want to make sure it gets to the tissues where it needs to go. And well, what does it need? It needs carnitine. Carnitine helps shuttle the fatty acids into the mitochondria where they get burned, and that's why I have the acetyl-L-carnitine in Shred-Gym. So you want to make sure you get some carnitine to help make sure that all those freed up fatty acids, or at least maximize the amount of fatty acids can get into the tissues where it's going to be burned for good. Okay, now that we've got the fat going into the tissues, well, how do we make sure it gets burned away for good? Well, you increase your calorie need, your metabolic rate. Your body burns more calories, so you need something that's going to increase the metabolic rate. Ephedra is going to increase your metabolic rate. Synephrine will increase it. Green tea is great for increasing metabolic rate and will even boost it further than the ephedra. So I would definitely consider adding that as well. But then there are other things like, thyroid function. You want to make sure that your thyroid is functioning properly. So there's all these different steps, and the ingredients that I have in Shred-Gym make sure that all those different areas of fat burning are really, truly maximized so that you get the best results. So like I said, the best way would be, I'm not trying to sell you on Shred-Gym, but I designed these supplements, for a reason, not just that here's a fat burner. I designed this so that it would help me achieve this level of body fat. I'm not messing around. I want to make sure every ingredient that I want is in there, and that's why I formulate these products. They're going to work, so definitely try taking, if you want, if you've got ephedra, add it, a little bit to your Shred-Gym, and you can add some aspirin as well if you want, or the white willow extract as well, and there you go. It's powerful fat burn.
You make it powerlifting.
Well, I make it towards powerlifting sometime that has you squatting, benching, and deadlifting several times. Well, I have several. If you look at my, I'm trying to think which one. Several of my programs have you training those lifts several times a week. If not on the site, I think, I'm trying to think. I have so many programs that the exact differences between them, it starts slipping when you have hundreds of programs to remember which one is twice and which one. But if it's not on my website, my Encyclopedia of Muscle and Strength, and by the way, I'll not to plug the book, but guys, seriously, if you want a book on training, the Encyclopedia of Muscle and Strength is, and again, I know it's my book, but seriously, I wrote that book because, I have a passion for writing and science and weight training. And as a kid, I read, so many weightlifting books, and none of them were, as an editor, as a professional editor and writer, I have some expectations on what a book should, on the organization of the book and what it should be, and the information, the way it's distilled and organized should be. And every book out there really left me flat. And so that's why I really put, everything that I have into Encyclopedia of Muscle and Strength. It's really, everything, my entire brain into that one book. But the nice thing is that, people say, well, I'm a member of the website. What's different in the book? Well, the book breaks, I break down, everything in a gym, from the different collars to the different size bars to the handles and why this machine works this way, and the different cams on machines, and breaking down the definition of isometric and isotonic and eccentric, and talking about how to design your own program. I teach you how to break down a program, whether you're a beginner or more advanced, with a table on how you can design really easy step-by-step process on how to design your own workouts. But then on top of that, it has all my workouts. It has all the exercise demos in there. So it's definitely a great adjunct to the website, and the website is a great adjunct to the book because the website is live. I keep putting new programs, and that's where all the videos and other articles are that are exclusive to members of JimStoppani.com. So either way, whether you have the book, you definitely want to join the website. And if you're a member, you definitely want to check out the book. You will not go wrong. And there's a number of schools that actually use the encyclopedia as their book, their textbook for their weight training coursework. So definitely take a look. It's perfect from beginner to advanced, and it's really a great sort of refresher course for you because there's a lot of things that you probably either didn't pick up in the gym or picked up improperly that will be corrected with the book. Let's see, what is it? It's almost 2, so let's take one more. Okay, if I drink your post during my workout, so he's drinking his post gym as a intra workout. So if I was training and this is my post gym, he's just sipping on it while he trains. Perfectly fine way to get your posted. But now, when should he have his dextrose? Should he have it during the workout or should he have it post? Well, you know, since he's getting in his post gym and you really want to maximize that insulin spike for the carnitine and the creatine, I would probably add my dextrose right to your post gym shake and sip on that during the workout. And that way, like I said, you're gonna increase the uptake of the creatine and the carnitine. But even if you waited, it would be fine. You could add it to the pro gym. I'd probably say ideally just add it to your post gym. And I wouldn't worry about, a lot of people say, well, what about fat burning? You don't want carbs during your workout because it's going to decrease fat burning. Yes and no. Yeah, you know, fat burning may decrease when you have carbs during a workout, but it really doesn't affect your total fat loss. Which is why fasted cardio is not necessarily the answer. And like, read my article on fasted cardio. I sort of explain why it can help those who are at super low levels of body fat. But for most people, eating carbs before you work out is not going to really have much of an impact on your fat loss goals, on your overall fat loss. Yeah, it's going to decrease the amount of fat you burn during the workout, but you burn more fat after the workout. So it tends to even out. It really doesn't matter. Just worry about getting in a good workout. Don't worry about the fat that you're burning, the carbs. It'll all come off in the end. So yeah, so add it to your post-workout ideally, and that's an hour. I think we're only planning on 30 minutes, but it's hard for me to
Just do one more.
okay, let's see, one more.
It's on the bicep curl bands right here.
Okay, one more. Can you show us the biceps curl using the bands when your arms are behind you? It works the peak. Oh yeah, sure.
Set it up like this.
So, where was that band that was right here?
Just put it right there, yeah.
Okay, so behind the back cable curl is an exercise that I love because with the arm behind the body, it's stretching that long head. And now when you stretch a muscle, it can contract with more force. So because the long head is able to provide more force during this curl, the long head becomes the prime mover during the behind the back curl with a cable, okay? Why is that important? Well, that long head is what makes up that majority of the peak. So when you do it with a band, you're basically gonna just tether it to a low point and stand. And what I typically stand with a staggered stance and just keep the arm behind the body and do your curl. Hope that helps. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me in the gym, and for those of you doing my holiday shred challenge, keep shredding it up. Almost there. Keep it up, guys. I'm here with you, shredding away as well. So.
And New Year's one.
And look for my New Year's challenge. That's going to be another 6-week challenge. Get you guys even fitter, faster, and leaner. Hint, hint. So look for that one coming out the new year, and then after that we'll have another one ready for spring. So keep looking for those challenges, guys, and I'll see you guys online.